Me, Daniel. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, Daniel, what's this nonsense? Where's the normal Minecraft world? So this is my modded survival world. Because I figured, yeah, this is fun. Has an XP gauge for some reason, because this is like, I believe it's called Project MMO, this mod. Lets us build skills. Which is very interesting. I did not mean to place that, but hey, it lets us grind. Look on the bright side. We're by a desert, which is the lamest biome. I tried to install a mod that added paragliders and the Korok leaf from Wind Waker, but unfortunately, God said no. It just wouldn't work, which is unfortunate. Especially because it's an aerial mobility option that you can craft using leather. But unfortunately, the game said no. And we were forced to abide. But yeah, for now, let's just explore this beautiful ray-traced Minecraft world. Because God knows we are using ray tracing. My graphics card supports it. My CPU tries. And that's what counts. Yo, now that's a biome. It's a cool biome. The world has a lot of luck. So, okay, you know how I mentioned, like, Breath of the Wild? Well, you see, we're playing Breath of the Wild right now. You know the towers in Breath of the Wild? Yeah, there's those. And you can even fast travel between them, which is really cool. That's just something I should probably mention. That we can do that. Because this is a banger game. Like, I know Breath of the Wild, it's not a traditional Zelda game, but I still think it's a banger game. Though I do hope Breath of the Wild 2 incorporates some more traditional Zelda elements. Though I'm fine with it being a Breath of the Wild sequel, especially if it's like Majora's Mask. Though I guess for me, an initial fear was, is the Zelda franchise going to become the Breath of the Wild franchise? But even then, we still get 2D Zelda games, so I don't see why we won't get things in the format of Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Classic Zelda. I guess it's just, I mean, not even Classic Zelda, it is modern Zelda, but traditional dungeon format Zelda, I guess you could call it. But, you know, Minecraft, the wild home. You know, they said that these are going to be hard to scale, but it doesn't seem like it to me. It seems like, you know, making my way down is going to be the hard part. Oh god, how am I going to get down from here? Well, you know, at least I have some blocks. Don't die. We want to not fall and not die. Both would be preferable. You know, I guess I can make one or the other work. I've made an oops. Oh, wait, you can crouch under slabs? Oh, it's because we're on stairs, which are also a slab at points. Oh! My brain! My brain is massive, ginormous. But also get wood cutting. I don't know what wood cutting will get for us. I presume it'll make it so that we can mine wood faster, which will be good. Because, I'll be honest, mining wood is like a huge hassle in Minecraft. So speeding that up is going to be fun. I wonder if you'll get the thing that, like, I know back in the day there were a lot of mods where it's like, oh, if you cut the bottom of a tree, the top will break too. And that was like the best kind of mod. Let's just spam jump while we do this so that we can get agility. Because I'm pretty sure you need 20 agility to use a bow. Because I did a little bit of testing. And you know, I don't know if you know this about me. I'm a big archery head. You know, probably because I do it. I wouldn't call myself like a pro archer or anything, but I just think it's fun, so it's a hobby of mine. I don't think my archery is anything special, but I think, you know, it's above the average person, because the average person doesn't use a bow. It's above what an average non-archer could do on their first try. And you know, that's something to be proud of. Lately, I've been thinking about how every Mii in Smash, they each represent one of the 3 major Wii series games. Like, Mii Brawler is Wii Sports Boxing, Mii Gunner is Wii Play Shooting Range, and Mii Sword Fighter is Wii Sports Resort Swordplay. Which got me thinking about the other Wii series games. And it's like, Wii Chess, man, it does not teach you how to play chess, you know? It does not explain chess, right? And that got me thinking, chess kind of has a bunch of nonsense. Like, I'm pretty sure, you know I don't remember the thing, what it's called, but like that one move where it's like you can swap the king and a rook. That's not intuitive at all, and you only know it if someone tells you about it. And that's just so dumb to me. But then it gets me thinking, man, I wonder if there's any other, like, jank like that. Like, how easy would it be to make up chess jank and just act like it's a base part of chess that people just didn't know about? Because I'm sure the way that got invented was someone made it up and told their friends. Like, it had to have been. Because, like, how else do you come up with that? You gotta just make it up, right? Yeah, it's like, I know this got me thinking back to the controversial 1777 edition of chess, which was released to celebrate the first anniversary of the United States of America. Now, in that, they replaced the king and queen pieces with the president and vice president pieces. Now, the vice president was useless. It was just a pawn until the president dies, in which case it is made into the president. So you essentially have 2 kings, so getting checkmated once isn't the end. Now, the president moves the same as the queen. However, it can only act if you have more pieces left on the field than your opponent, because the president, needs congressional approval in order to act. Now, this is a little-known version of chess because after the French Revolution, it was deemed a bit offensive to remove the king and queen after the death of King Louis and Marie Antoinette. However, some scholars to this day swear by 1777 edition chess and claim that it would help diversify the strategies in the metagame today if it were still played. And I'm a bit inclined to agree, because I think just President strats would make aggressive play more viable as a result of the fact that you need more pieces than your opponent in order to move one of your most powerful pieces. So it allows defensive non-president play as well as aggressive presidential strats, which I think would have really added to the metagame's diversity. And I mean, it did add to the metagame's diversity back when it was the standard rule set. Like, yeah, the changes were controversial, and it is kind of tied to one country, but on the other hand, it's just so much fun. It just adds so much to the overall game. If you've never played 1777 edition chess, I highly recommend giving it a try. Speaking of nonsense chess maneuvers, there's actually one that I'm going to make up right here and right now, and we're going to add it to the chess rules, and you can only do it if you know about it. Just like the pawn-king, or just like the rook-king switch thing. So it's called a revolution, where you can incite your opponent's pawns to rise up against the king. And it instantly turns all the pawns to your side, which allows you to promote them, as usual in chess. And as a result of this, the opponent's king is pretty much instantly checkmated. Now, because of this, it executes the opponent's king and queen, and they can either end there or turn one of their pieces of the ruling class, the non-pawns, into the king as the last stand of the monarchy. However, because you can instantly promote your pawns, though you can't promote them into a queen as a result of the monarchy being deposed by the pawn revolution, it's going to be just mainly rooks and bishops with maybe a few knights in order to force a checkmate. So inciting a revolution is a super good strategy in chess for people who know how to do it. Which is just say, I incite a revolution and then win. It seems like the kind of thing that would be in chess. I think you're the fake fan around here. Can you imagine Sonic Adventure 2, but it's just two toxic gamers? I think you're the fake gamer around here. I'll make you eat those words! I've 100%ed Skyrim! I'm Sonic Hedgehog, and I've 100%ed Skyrim! Twice! Man, I enjoy the grind, brother. Speaking of the grind, I've been on my grind when it comes to League of Legends lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with that, but I don't know if it's the kind of thing that I can really make content on, because I just don't know if that's in my skill set. Because, like, League, it is hard to talk over and be funny, and I guess, like, when you play Ezreal like I do, he kind of makes the same jokes that I would make, so, you know, I do have that going for me. But on the other hand, I think I could do it if I really set my mind to it. So would you guys be interested in it? Like, because Ezreal, with all the skill shots and stuff, it's just the kind of character where, yeah, I can really bring out my inner gamer gremlin with, like, my whole, yeah, baby, I'm the best attitude. And I don't really think I'm the best. I just kind of say it because I think it's fun, you know? I work really hard to try to be confident but not, like, egotistical. So more of, like, I do it more in, like, a funny kind of jokey way, but I'm not sure if that's made clear. It's something I try hard to make clear, but I just don't know if I am doing that successfully. But, ooh baby, I go for it, brother. And, you know, I guess that kind of confidence is something you need. I think it's just like a content thing. Like, thinking about it, channels that I really look up to, like Alfred, as an example. Yeah, he's got that, like, confidence. Yeah, baby, I'm a gamer. I'm a man's man of gamers. Like, I'm the gamer's gamer, you know? And I think content is really all about confidence. It's not really about having a specific personality. I wouldn't say I have, like, a particularly alluring or appealing personality that makes people want to come. I think what I do have is just this desire to make it work, and as long as you're willing to just put in the, yeah, baby, I can do this. I believe in me, and when you believe in yourself, people come around to believe in you. And that's just the way it rolls, you know? Remember back when beds could use any type of wool? I remember that. But hey, times change. That's how the world is nowadays. That's just something we've all got to accept. Times change, and sometimes feel like things aren't the same as they were. And hey, that's alright. So then you learn to work with the way things work now. You gotta go with the flow. Embrace the future. And if the way things are and the way things have changed is really that bad, then you just gotta fight back, man. Your future is yours to decide. And that's something you've always got to keep in mind. The only person who really has power for your future is you. And even if it feels like there are people out there trying to force one way of life onto you, they will never take your freedom. Because as long as you keep going, eventually you will have control. Because the only person who's always going to be there with you is you. And I mean that in a positive way. Like, if it feels like, let's say you've got a boss at work who's really, like, they're really bossy, really mean. Eventually, things will change. You will always be you, but they won't always be there. Eventually, it's gonna be you, and you get to you get to pick the people you keep in your life. And so, that kind of person, they're not going to be there forever. Even if it feels like it sometimes. You're the only person who has permanent influence over your life, you know? Even if people... Because I'm not going to lie and say people can't boss you around, and... Yeah, it does suck. You know, you do get to take that power back. No matter how hard the struggles are, you gotta just believe they're gonna pay off. Because even if they don't for a long time, if you keep going, they will eventually, because everything happens in time. Like, look at... I guess my philosophy, as well as, to echo some advice someone I really look up to once gave me, if you're doing what you love, it shouldn't... Like, it doesn't have to matter if you're not succeeding, because would you rather get nowhere doing what you love, or get nowhere in it by not doing it, you know? Like, I really love making this content, and I really love playing Smash Bros. And that kind of thing, competitively. And I know I struggle at it, and I know I don't really always get the results I'm looking for. But, you know, it's what I love doing, and I'm not gonna let the fact that I don't always succeed ever stop me. Because, you know, if I keep going, I will succeed eventually, and even if I don't, even if the time I find success is far after I'm dead, right? Or, like, I just don't have enough time in my life to get to the part where I eventually succeed. Well, I went for it, and I did what I enjoyed, and I'd rather get nowhere in... Let's say, I'd rather win no tournaments, but by attending every one, than, say, win no tournaments by giving up, you know? And I think that's just a really good philosophy to have, where you just have to keep going no matter how bleak things feel. It's a leap of faith, and it's something that's really hard to do. But it's also what's necessary, you know? I guess that's just how I look at things. And, you know, if people say, oh, something's impossible, and it's something you really want to do, you can prove them wrong. If someone says, oh, that's too hard, that's too hard. No, that's too hard for a beginner. That just means that most beginners would struggle too much that they'd quit. And what you have to do to prove that wrong is not quit. You have to prove, hey, you may say this is too hard, but that's because people don't want to deal with the struggle, you know? Like, let's say, for example, let's say you're into Smash Bros, right? And someone says, oh, playing like, let's say you're starting Smash Bros, and you want to play, I don't know, Melee Fox, right? You want to play Melee Fox. And people start telling you, no, Melee Fox is too complicated, too tech-heavy for a beginner. You should start with Kirby, right? Because it's just really impossible for someone who starts with Fox to get anywhere, because they have to learn their fundies. Yeah, it's gonna be frustrating to not be able to say, like, multi-shine at first. But with enough effort, you can. It doesn't matter if it's something that's too hard for most beginners. Because what separates you from most beginners isn't like some sort of innate talent thing where if you're not born with it, you can't do it. No, it's really a willpower thing. Just kind of... If you're thinking like, oh, well, I guess I can't do it because everyone says I can't, a big part of that is, and that's because it's caused the people before you to give up because they haven't gotten results, because it is the kind of thing where, let's say someone starts learning it later, after learning their fundies, they're committed enough because they've been at it for a while, that they're willing to keep going. But it's going to be just as hard. You're learning the same amount, you're still learning fundies, it's just that you're learning fundies at the same time as something else. Or to give an example, like, it's like kind of, if you're playing piano, you can use two hands, you can start with two hands. A lot of people start just learning one hand at a time. But you could, if you're ambitious, you want to learn, you can go in to, whatchamacallit, you can go in hard and just try learning both hands at once. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle, it's going to be tough. But you can do it. It is possible. Never let someone tell you that you're not good enough to learn something. But yeah, when I was feeling really discouraged about both competitive Smash and about making content where I felt like I'd never get anywhere, I reached out to someone I look up to for advice, and that's kind of what they told me, so it's the kind of thing that I wanna impart onto you guys, because the best thing I can do is to pay it forward. I feel like the phantom pain of my phone vibrating in my pocket, even though there's nothing in my pocket. And maybe it's like, is there something, and maybe that's like the sign of, oh, Daniel, that's not like a, oh, you remember your, because like sometimes this is just kind of a thing that happens, and maybe that's not healthy, but like I can kind of feel, like, I can kind of feel the pulse in my blood, you know? I feel it move. You know, it's wave dashing all around. You just feel the ripple in your veins, you know? Yeah, no, that sounds unhealthy. I don't know how to describe it. I'm probably going to die. But hey, we all do, so that's okay. To paraphrase absurdist philosophy, you know, we're all dealing with the inevitability of death, and every day we're not running away, living on in our way of rebelling against the inevitability. Because it doesn't matter if it's something we can't escape. It's kind of the mentality of, death is inevitable, but that doesn't mean I care. It's not something there are things you can't change, I just don't care that I can't change it, you know? Philosophy. And stupid made-up chess stuff.